if you're playing to win in your finances for 2018, one of the areas and strategies that I have found to be so important when it comes to money and making money grow, it's actually something that is the opposite of what people might think. It's giving. Yep, giving. And not only giving, but giving to something that is really important, something that you are passionate about, something that actually benefits someone else and does not directly benefit you, that you actually can't even be thanked for what you've given into. So part of my strategies for playing to win for many, many years in the financial category, both my husband and I, in fact, for about 18 years now, has been about taking care of those who cannot take care of themselves. For years, we ended up giving to our church where, we paid for someone's salary, or we paid for our, pastor's, not without realizing it, for part of his Mercedes-Benz payment, meaning the amount that we were giving, tens of thousands of dollars a year, we knew we're not supporting anybody who actually was in need. No one that was poor, not a widow, not someone that was sick, not an orphan, not a kid that's been trafficked. And so one of the greatest things that we ever learned, that if we want to receive, we would need to give. And that when we looked in the best success book ever written for finances, we found clearly that we are supposed to take care of the poor. That if we care for the poor, then God would take care of us, and he would be our rear guard, which means he protected us from behind and he would lead us from ahead. That he would bless and flourish our crops, which is our businesses and our land. That if we humbled ourselves and we made sure to take care of those children who were starving, or the elderly who was being forsaken, then we would be blessed. So listen, I don't know if you have that on your strategy list, but we've always set a goal of how much do we want to give. My biggest goal, my biggest financial goal is to be able to give away $1 million a month. That's my goal. To give $1 million a month away. It helped me. Rather than setting a goal that helped to feed me personally, I found great passion and purpose with being able to feed others instead. And if I'm giving 10% of my income away, which that's how the goals originally started, was that 10% of that income, for every dollar I make, 10% is going to feed an orphan, or 10% is going towards building a house for the extreme poor, or 10% is going towards helping get a kid out of the sex trade. So here's what I found. I passionately have purpose now for my work life. You could not like your job at all. Your job could be very boring. Your job could be something that just constantly is too much pressure, or it's pressing on you in areas that you don't like it. As soon as I changed my focus, and it not being about how much money or how big a business was going to get built, but how much actually would go to things that really, really pressed on my heart. So I challenge you. Right now in 2018, we have set a goal to rescue 1,000 slaves out of the sex trade. 1,000 children, kids, little kids. The kids that you see on the playground, those little kids are supposed to be playing on the playground, going down the slide, playing hide and go seek, going around the merry-go-round. Those kids who are now in the sex trade, 4.5 million of them. 4.5 million. Did you know that 100,000 U.S. children right now, today, are in the sex trade? Right in your neighborhood, right in your city. And who is paying to have sex with a 5-year-old? Politicians, entertainers, celebrities, professional athletes, college students, people on welfare, pastors, elders, maybe your neighbor. How can we fix this? You and I together can restore children back to where they belong. Rather than being forced to have sex 10 times, 20 times a day with a grown man, they will be free to be a child again. It only costs $5,000 to rescue one of these slaves, from the extraction out of the place that they're in, to the food, the clothing, the shelter, the education, the love, the counseling, the healing, the environment. For an entire year, a child could be rescued out of those circumstances. That's all it takes. That is $14. It could be $14 a day, which is what you spent on lunch today or yesterday. $400 a month would help to support that child, or it's just $5,000. It helps to rescue that one from start to finish. So how can you do that? Go to kingsransom.org. Again, our goal is 1,000 kids this year rescued. 1,000 kids. You can join us on this adventure. kingsransom.org. Again, that's kingsransom.org. Rescue 1,000 is the campaign. It's right there on the homepage. Just click on that and you'll see the campaign. You'll see all the wonderful, beautiful people who have joined us on this mission. So set your financial goal this year about how many kids perhaps you want to rescue out of the sex trade. How many orphans would you like to feed? How much healing do you want to bring to the world? Set your goal at that, because if you set a goal that you want to give 10% of your income, then there you go. You're going to raise your income if you put purpose to your income versus just paying for your debt, versus just paying for your needs. That stuff can get boring. But I'll tell you what, when you live your life with a purpose, it gets you out of bed earlier than everybody else. God bless you. I hope you go to King's Ransom right now. We'll continue with more of the Dani Johnson Show right after this.